So many times when we talk about generating a type curve, we're actually referring to what's called a type well. So before I go through the quick example here in Whitson Plus, I'd like to just clarify this difference real quick. So first of all, when we talk about type wells, they're often referred to as type curves. So what's the difference? Well, a type curve, for instance, the Fetkovich type curve refers to idealized production plots to which actual production results are compared. Type wells, on the other hand, they're actually based on actual well production data, and they represent quote unquote a typical production profile for a collection of wells. And also for a specified duration. How do you quantify what's a typical well? Well, David Fulford, he suggests that you use the geometric mean, um, and he kind of argues that since production rates and EORs are generally distributed log normal to take an average of those logs, that makes a lot of intuitive sense. So we'll actually go ahead together now and generate a type well using the geometric mean as an averaging method in Whitson Plus together. So if I open Whitson Plus here, the first thing I need to do, I have an empty project. I just need to get my data in. In this case, I've already downloaded some Enerdeck files that I would like to drag and drop into the interface right here. So I have this file and I have this file. So this is just standard default export from Enerdeck that you get one file with the production data and one with the well and the completion data. Once you're done with uploading this particular data, we're going to go ahead and go to the auto forecast. We're going to append an auto forecast to our data, and then we're going to generate a type well based on 20 wells, I think, in this particular example. So we jump down to auto forecast, and I'm going to go ahead and maximize my screen. And this is a view where you can save for a given project. You can save a lot of different type wells or auto forecasts, in this case, over time. So if I go here up to the right, I click add auto forecast, and I'll just call this, type well area 1. I can share this with other people in the company if I'd like to, so there can be different owners, so I can actually make it a company-wide auto forecast as well. I decide what the wells I'd like to include in the auto forecast. In this case, I'll just include all of them. But if I had some groups that I would like to use to define this based on like a type well area, etc., I could go ahead and do that here. Or if I had a type well area defined as a custom attribute, I could have gone and filtered down to that as well using this option right here. So once I'm happy with that, I click save. I can initialize my bounds here in terms of B factors and whatnot. So just for example, I'll take a B factor between 0.5 and 1.5 in this case, and you can also change the forecast periods and the cutoffs and stuff like this. I'll skip that in this particular instance. You go ahead and auto-fit all the wells by clicking this button right here. They'll auto-fit all the streams for you. And then once those auto-fits are done, you could, for instance, go here and sort the list by error, for instance, and then you can go ahead and look at the largest error first visually if you like to do that, and just right-click or left-click if you want to go to the next or the previous well in the particular project. And then of course you can go here and manually change that before you save your particular forecast. So in this case, I'll call this just my base case forecast. I'll click save. Then I can go and append those forecasts when I come into my type wall creation. So over in the type wall, I'll do the same thing. I'll call this, type wall, example 1, something like this. The same thing goes here. I can share this with different people in the company. I can either make it company-wide or private. I can add owners, etc. But again, I'll include all the wells in this area to create the type wall. I'll click save. Once I've clicked save, I'm then ready to generate my type wall. First thing I need to do is to select all the wells that's relevant for me. Those wells will then show up on the plot right here. Then I would like to go in and do some kind of normalization, but maybe before then I would like to either align all the rate set to the peak time, which I am doing right here. That means that you'll get some data points in negative time, which is totally fine. Or I can also just align all of them from the first first production, which is also common. They have strengths and weaknesses. I'll not talk about that today. In this particular example, I'll just put all of them at peak time, just for example, and you can also adjust the starting ones here by using these arrows if you like to. Over in settings, I'm gonna go ahead and normalize use normalized following times. I remove any zero dates. I'll also make sure that the default in the software is to use the geometric mean. In this case, I'll just normalize by lateral length, but you could normalize by other properties too, also nonlinear normalization. And I'll go ahead and append my forecast here to my example, so I get a very nice forecast. The probit plot down to the right is behind my face. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is to remove my face from the screen. The way to do that would be to do something like this. There we go. It shows whether or not the data behaves kind of log normal or not. And it can be also a good way of especially if you look at the fit here of the probit plot, and if you try to analyze whether the ratios, this P10 to P90 ratio, can tell you something about the relative uncertainty of the solution span as well. So it's a very popular thing to use in the oil and gas industry, and especially to communicate together with a type well creation. So once I've appended my forecast, I'm going to actually create a DCA fit of this forecast. I'm just going to do that real fast here. I'm going to click AutoFit. I'm going to save this case, and I'm going to call this my base case. I'm going to save it right here. And right now I'm actually fitting my average. I'm not fitting the P10, the P50, or P90 percentiles. And there is also an option here to if I wanted to when I run the AutoFit, to make sure that the EUR of the type well and the DCA fit is the same at the end of history. So I'm going to do that as well as my second fit here. So I'm going to say, okay, this is my EUR, or call it example 2 or something like this. And you see in this case my EUR fit at the end of history is spot on right here between the fits. Going back to the type well, then I can go ahead and say I'd like to show these together with the rest of the wells. I can look at these in different formats if I like to. If I would like to look at these in kind of like a cum space, I can do that. And if I come back later, I then have I have basically this little repository for this type well project that tells me what wells were included in the creation of the type well, who did it, it was me and whoever else that I share the project with, and when was it done. And then if I come back later, I can go ahead and either alter this project that I'm in, or I can go in and say, okay, I would like to create a new type of project at this point. Maybe I've gotten some new people on the team that I'd like to add here, etc.